The negative team will now present a rebuttal that focuses on the main points of the affirmative arguments, as well as briefly reiterates a few of our own negative contentions. Number 1, the stakes are higher in politics than in any other cultural sphere. Negative response. The affirmative team seems to be of the opinion that politics has the loudest voice in culture today and is our best venue for Christian influence. But as we've been learning throughout the course of this class, it is media that actually has the biggest influence on culture and the thought process behind most of the viewpoints we see today. Just look at how Facebook and MySpace has skyrocketed the narcissism epidemic in our culture. We've learned this throughout the course of this class. Politics may write the guidelines for how life is lived, but in today's era, media decides how those guidelines are going to be interpreted. A classic misinterpretation of a political law, freedom of religion, is now being defined as freedom from religion among media today. Politics is not the quickest road to influence or even the easiest. It may only be the longest. The affirmative also used the phrase, we can engage the nation through politics, which is great. Engaging America is awesome, but again, influencing culture should not be limited to American culture. And as we referenced in our negative contention or negative constructive under contention 6, different political structures make this difficult. Psalm 96:3 says, declare his glory among the nations, share his marvelous works with all people. All people. Point number 2, not should, but how should Christians be involved in politics? Negative response. Agreed, we should to some extent. When called, be involved in politics. This is why our duty as a citizen requires voting. But then affirmative team said that we should have an impactful good on a daily basis. And the negative team addressed this with the fact that politics is lengthy and there are many battles to be fought within it. The amount that politics is being used by Christians in today's culture and society to influence and instruct is becoming increasingly reduced. It is no longer a popular thing to have a Christian value or perspective. The majority vote is slowly beginning to shoot these kind of propositions down. Instead of Christianity influencing culture through politics, politics is beginning to hinder Christianity. We see the restriction of prayer in schools, the omission of Bible scriptures, and even religious lawsuits on the grounds of personal violation. The Fayette case here in 2013 in Missouri, a teacher was sued for leading a prayer meeting in an FCA meeting, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The students and their families sued this teacher supposedly on violation of religious freedom. Point number 3, political engagement is a desirable and effective course for the Christian. Negative response. We've already shown how politics is not the highly effective means of influence. Let us address the main issue we find with this point. It is not every Christian's duty to become a political figure, but based off of the resolve we have in front of us today, we aren't looking at this from an individual perspective. God does give certain men and women the task of influence in politics and gives them the ability to carry it out, but we are approaching this resolve with Christianity as a whole in mind. We're not debating, is politics supposed to be a part of the Christian life? I think both teams agree the answer is yes. But while being informed and a part of the political realm in our society is important for every Christian and obedience to God, when we look at it as a means of influencing culture, politics is not the best answer.